Clemens. Ford Mustang TT4.
Dominant fashion, Kylie Glenn.
Yeah! Jeremy Clemens. Ford Mustang TT4.
Dominant fashion, Kylie Glenn.
Yeah! Area 51 podcast. This is Cap Houston right here. Bobby, what you got for me?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Bobby. Tonight is episode 94. We got Dave. How you doing?
Good evening, everybody. Just waiting on Hurricane Aaron to come rolling her way through, but hopefully it misses us this far west.
Yeah, hopefully I messaged you guys completely.
Yeah, we're going to get some rain, get some wind, but other than that, everything else looks pretty good.
And I'm not sure what happened with the intro. That was kind of weird. It like hung up for a second and then started rolling. But we got Chad here. How you doing, Chad?
Oh, I'm doing good. Just busy as all get out, trying to make it through my work week, going to travel to go to Daytona for the 400 and the Friday night Xfinity race.
The Wawa 250. Can Jeremy Clemens go win the race again?
We could only hope.
Are we going to get the rain to push it back?
I
There is
hope
no
not.
telling.
1:30 on a Saturday or a Friday is pretty late for me.
Well, the last time was, when he did win it, my wife just had her bicycle accident back in July 3rd, 2022. So she's still in the bed with her back and everything from where she broke her back and pulled her nerves from her spinal column. And me and my son's in there, we're watching it. He just happened to be down for the weekend. And next thing you know, of course, rain delays, and then all hell breaks loose. And next thing you know, Jeremy's in the lead, and we're jumping up and down in the living room. And of course, the wife's in the bedroom, and we scared the absolute snot out of her. So, and that was not a good thing, because she come up out of the bed with a broke back, like something had done bit her and everything. So it was not a good thing. But we were jumping around, carrying on like we were. It was all awesome and great, but we would have been there had it not been for that one little hiccup of that accident. So I was like, dadgummit, I missed the one opportunity I was going to get at Daytona.
I remember sitting there. Adrian was in bed, and I'm just like, I'm like over here falling asleep. And then I was like, oh shit, he's in the lead, or he's right there. And then I was like, all right, he's in the lead. And then he wins the race. And I'm like yelling at, who was it, Allmendinger that was coming for him?
No, it was Austin Hill. And that was the only car worthwhile that was still left. And it's like, damn, he's got to run out of gas. Let's get him to run out of gas. And me and my son yelling about it. Hey, I hope you run out of gas. I hope you run out of gas. And then all of a sudden he drops to the bottom of the track. He ran out of gas.
So I remember screaming and hooting and hollering, and Adrian looks over at me and she goes, "Are you kidding me?" She's like, "What just happened?" And I said, "Jeremy won the race." And she looked at me and she goes, "Oh," and she got excited then. I was like, all right. So ever since then, she's rooted for Jeremy.
Yeah, I straight crashed out because, we were under rain delay. So I fell asleep, and I woke up, I don't know whether to go to bed or what was going on, but I woke up and they were like, yeah, we're going green here in about 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, well, I can stay up another half hour. And that's the only way I caught the race.
Yeah, it was a crazy night for sure, with all the rain delays and this, that, and the other. And I remember a few stories from like Scott of One Stop and some other ones saying that they didn't know when they were ever going to get right back on the racetrack. They were shocked they started as late as they did without pushing it to the next day.
I'm glad they didn't, that's for sure. But
Well, there would have still only been 8 cars on the track.
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
true.
Right, because I was thinking about that. What was it? What was that? The Glen when they had that huge pile up. Jeremy was running like 28th, 29th, and then all of a sudden 15th, and I'm like, what in the hell? But, oh, okay. There's 19 cars on the track right now, and there's only 3 to go, so we got a top 15. I'll take them.
You any way you can get them, you take the top 15s, top 10s, and top 5s.
Oh hell yeah!
So what's Chad been up to?
Other than a ton of artwork, ton of mats being designed, it's just been. Other than that, it's been about the grandbaby, and he just turned 2, so now I get to sneak him off to a racetrack because he's 2 years old. Told his mama when he was born I wouldn't take him till he was 2, just like I did her brother. So now I got to figure out a way to do that. But he likes to go to bed at like 8:30 at night, so it's gonna be kind of rough.
He's going to Daytona with you.
No, I wish he was. It's I'm taking one of my old high school buddies that we've remained friends with for quite a few years, and he's actually trying to help sell some mats and everything for us. And his name's actually Matt, and he thinks he thinks it's kind of funny and cool that he's Matt of Matt Man. But just something. He's never been to the race at Daytona or any race at Daytona for that matter. He's took the tour and went through the museum and whatnot about 10, 12 years ago. And when I asked him if he wanted to go, he said, oh yeah. So we got us a VRBO spot. It's probably back street wise to the track, probably about a 5-minute trip. So that'll make it quick and easy to get in and out and everything. So, and speaking of that, Barry, he's got to call me when they get the truck parked and everything Thursday morning, and then I'm going to drive the banners over for the weekend because there ain't no sense in shipping them to the shop on Monday if I'm going to be there at the racetrack, right? So just take them with me and hand them off and go for that.
Nice.
So I do have a question for you on that behalf. So your mats and banners and everything are being appreciated by others now.
Yes.
How cool is that you get to see that your artwork is not only used for the track, but the fans themselves are getting to own pieces of your artwork?
To me, it's really cool because Jeremy is probably the only opportunity that's able to be afforded to, okay, if we don't make them and the sponsors don't get them right, a lot of times I'll make 2 for him for those purposes so that, like in Scott's One Stop and Chuck's ASC case, I usually make 3. And I do the same thing for Spartan Waste and Fox Sports because they're all always on the car. I'll make 3 for them. Jeremy still got one to use at all of the races that he goes, but Spartan Waste and Fox Sports gets 1 apiece, and then ASE and Chuck and then Scott and One Stop, they get a mat apiece as well. And then usually after about a year and a half, they just take up room in the shop. So I guess it was on the way to the 600 weekend, I stopped and helped Jeremy's mom clean out that part. We got all the banners that needed to stay and got all the banners that were out from last year and stuff like that. And we just loaded my truck up and I dropped them off at the racing warehouse on the way to the hotel, and next thing you know, we lay them down for that meet and greet, and now they're putting out all the auctions. I just think it's cool that people get to get backstage part of racing history.
Yeah, whoever got the auction today, they did, I think it was 3 of the smaller pit banners. And I think somebody ended up picking them up for, I think it was $50 for all 3 of them. And I was kind of kicking myself in the ass, because I didn't catch it before it had ended. But I saw when they first got on there, and I'm like, all right, I'll peek back in with 10 minutes to go. and ended up missing out on it.
I,
Like I need them anyways. But
well, your room looks a little full if I'm looking in there right now. But I mean, sometimes if you had some certain things, not many people know, but there's definitely room on the ceilings.
yeah, unfortunately, I do have stuff on the ceilings as well.
Oh well, we can't see that, but I was trying to help you out there for some
So,
possible spaces, right?
Right.
so
Uh,
they sold those three banners today for $30.
Yeah, that's super cheap. That's a steal.
Yep.
well, a lot of times it's to me it's when do you see the auctions come across? A lot of times I don't see them until it's like an hour before they go up. I mean, an hour before they go completely finished, or it's an hour after it's completely sold.
Yeah.
So it sucks on my behalf because I've missed some good ones that I would have bid on, but
From, from now
somebody
on,
got
I'm
to
gonna
have them
start.
to help it.
Well, from now on, I'll just tag you in them.
Oh, you ain't got to do that. Heck, I still might not see it in time.
The guys
But,
do that to me all the time. They'll tag me in it, and then I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I'll go back to it, and I still miss it. And I'm like, son of a blotch.
tell you what, I definitely would have picked up that zip up if it would have been a large. They had a Jeremy, I think it was the 51 with the blue outline for like state line or something like that,
yeah,
and it was sharp.
You talking about the one on eBay or the one on
I
Racing Warehouse?
know what I think it's on eBay. I apologize.
The one
my
the one that I bid on because Rob says I'm skinny as hell.
Yeah, I think he literally called you an Ethiopian, but
Yeah, he does it every day.
yeah,
yeah,
He
those banners. I just scrolled across and looked at them, and it's like, yeah, you got one from 2024 and you got two from 2023.
You dropped off a crap load of mats, and they're not even close to being through them.
Oh no, not at all. And I hoarded one still in my garage. At
I
some
wonder
point, I got to make a FedEx label and get my shipping charge back and ship that joker to Ohio.
Yeah, I'm waiting on it. Yeah,
but
he goes.
here's the bad part is, what was it? Probably 3 or 4 years ago, I really started watching it, and Jeremy, and I remember going into the shop, and all the floor mats were just dingy as all get out in front of like Mark's toolbox, and they were just kind of laying out and about and around. And I'm like, hey, what do I got to do to get those? And he was like, well, you know, usually we don't hand them out and this, that, and the other. And you know, now you finally get an opportunity to get something like that. With
Yep.
most of the time with your favorite sponsor on it. Which is sweet. I'm a big Wings etc. guy, but I keep my eyes out on those.
Well, you had that one, and then this year they changed the logo up. So depending on which one, see, I didn't get the new logo until it was too late to where I couldn't make a map for them before Indy. So next year
Okay.
we'll have one for that with the new logo. So we didn't even get to make a map for them this year. We used last year's map again.
That's
I
the one
wonder.
with the block logo, right?
Yeah, the block logo is the new one.
Yeah.
It actually looks fast on the race car in
Yeah, it does.
comparison to the other one.
Yeah,
I was trying to, it took me about 10, 15 minutes of, looking at the new car and then looking at last year's car. I'm like, something different happened. I said, it's been the same since what, 2023, the livery and, the chickens and all that good stuff. And, I'm like, something's different. Something's just off. And, finally I looked at it and it was the actual Wings logo. And
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that kind of set it off just a hair. That little bit more yellow.
Yeah, that yellow and just the font itself, it made it look like it was. It looked like it's a place that you could go get your food, and it's going to be a pretty good fast turnaround, right? It didn't
Yeah.
look like it's just a logo of a bird in a plane. anymore. It looks more like, hey, we're here for the long haul now.
Yeah,
I still like that chicken.
I was about ready to bring him out here in just a second.
I'm salty because I'm trying to
Yeah,
find a piece like that.
The only way I was able to find this one is Eric and Emily really hooked me up. It was on the back wall at TRW for a long, long time, and I finally got him in to let me have it. Or I shouldn't say let me have it, let me buy it.
Yeah, because you ain't going to just walk out there with something free.
No.
I mean, they got to make their money just like anybody else. And the good part is when we're doing the mats and the banners like that for Jeremy, is he gets a little bit of money from the consignment part, right? So that helps it go back into his race team. And at one point in time, I think we had discussed like they put 10 tear offs on the windshield, right? Well, that's $450 right there. So if selling those mats can get him $450, that covers that cost of those tear offs on the windshield. Just that one set of 10, and that could be just for one race. I mean, who knows if they use it for multiple races? I would doubt it, but to me, that's got to help in comparison to some of the craziness that goes on. Those tires cost $2,500 a set, or if not more now. But and I know they got ways to get other tires from, like if the trucks were racing, they would they're using the same compounds, but if somebody had sets of tires left over from the night before or the race before them, a lot of times they'll go buy them at a little bit less expense, but they're still new tires so that they can compete. So anytime you're helping pay for something like that by stuff that included in my sponsorship for him is, making him look good with all of those for his sponsors and everything, and allow him to give gifts to his sponsors too. It kind of makes you feel good that you can help in different ways, and sometimes most people don't even think in that same direction, right?
Right.
Yeah, I've definitely I've pretty sure I've helped him with a tear off or two, just with my collection here.
Me
Well,
too.
I'm pretty sure you bought a whole window with that hood behind you.
Actually, it bugs me because the only windshield that I've ever seen for Jeremy is the one he keeps in the shop that was the playoff windshield, and he won't get rid of it. It's the one where the Clements is in purple,
I
and
wouldn't either.
no. And I'm like, hey, and he's like, no, we continue to use them, continue to use them. I'm like, damn it. I said, you gotta let one go. He's
Yeah.
like, no, as long as the bodies are straight, the windows don't take much of a damage at all.
Now, if it was Ryan Ellis's,
Yeah.
I guarantee you they got rid of that one.
Yeah, I'm guessing that one didn't leave the track.
But like Dave has the hood and stuff like that, and I got this piece. I'm still trying to figure out how I got the frickin' deck lid for the Pocono car, because that's a whole solid piece. Even Dave's like, I'm kind of jealous.
Man, I ain't got lucky enough to get any part of the car with any part of my logo on it yet.
I haven't. Yeah, well, you got the roof rail, or you got the B pillar.
Well, I mean, you got to think now. I was on the car from Mexico, pretty nice size, right?
Yeah.
I've been on a few Talladega cars that have been bent up, but somebody's gotten them before I have, and they've got my logo somewhere.
Huh.
Oh, I'll have to look, Chad.
Yep, they ain't many of mine that's free floating,
Right. Because I've got a whole nother room, unfortunately, with stuff that doesn't fit on the walls anymore. It's just kind of been tucked away. Oh, it's a shit show, Chad. I need a warehouse like yours.
I don't know about a warehouse. I mean, this ain't nothing but a basement. It's probably about 1,000 square foot, but still got some more room for other stuff.
if I was to take down the rest of my Kyle stuff, I could fit the rest of Jeremy sheet metal up, but I still got to keep it Clement's Corner.
Well, I mean, I'm a big Kyle Busch fan too, so I understand you got to leave something up there for one of the best that's ever.
I will FaceTime you when we're down there, and we will show you Clemens Corner and everything else, and I guarantee you your exact words are gonna be holy crap.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll do a quick spin real quick.
Go for it.
All right. So starting off in Clement's Corner, then going around. The drapes that are actually a backdrop from the Kyle Busch Foundation with him and Samantha. Diecast. Then combos, bumper, and then one of my prize possessions that people really don't see, and I don't know if y'all can see it, but that's the picture of Kyle wrecking Dale Jr. That's when he got the nickname
At Richmond.
Wild Thing. And then keep going around the deck lids, hoods. Got a bumper sitting there. A couple bumpers sitting there. Got some stuff hanging up on the wall. Number 5 steering wheel, which I thought was really cool.
You got that pit box front too from the straight line. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then some of his late model stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The only thing I can show you for Kyle Busch is
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I had to go out and get one too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that was a wild story. That was supposed to be a birthday present gone awry, but because they don't sell it in North Carolina, so Bobby had to order it in Ohio, and then send it to North Carolina. Well,
So I buy it, or I type all my information in, or type Dave's information, and it goes from Dave's information. So I'm typing my information in to pay it, and I think I put your zip code in,
Yeah.
and it literally went boop and kicked it to him, and it paid it from his account, and he goes, I said, you just paid for it, and he goes, oh, well, thank you.
That's bad. That's bad.
I'm like, bro, I was trying to buy it for your birthday.
That is bad.
But yeah,
We thought it was funny.
Right. Yeah, probably one of the coolest Kyle things I got is I know it's one of one because the only other one is in his personal garage is the Chevy last KBM win.
Mm-hmm.
I got the nose from what is it? It wasn't from the Coda Win truck because he's got that one. It was the one right afterwards, and they ran it twice, the same body, and so he's got the full truck at his garage, while the other bumper's down in the basement.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's one of those where it's like, wow, only ran a couple races with Chevrolet, and it just happens that I was at the right place at the right time.
It sounds like the perfect time, if you ask me.
Right.
Yeah, Dave's got some pretty sweet stuff. I mean, I've been on the phone with him as he's going to pick some of this stuff up. And then he's like, check this out. And I'm like, bro, you added another piece of Jeremy Clements stuff. It fits in the back of the car. It's all right.
Right. Yeah. Who'd have thought just everything except for obviously the hood behind me that's fit in a Chevy Camaro.
Dude, I've been on him for, 2 years now? Trying to get you to come off that suit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of Jeremy's suits off in the corner when he was
The
with
Road America win.
Yeah, you ain't ever getting that one, Bobby.
Oh, I have my opportunities. He's gave me my opportunities, but I just can't swing it. Not yet.
You can keep going up double the price, Dave.
I need to talk to Jessica. That's what I need to do.
Jesus. Just put me in a corner.
Right. Cool.
You can
You're
get
gonna
them
pay
both.
this. This is what we gotta get for Bobby.
Yeah, get them both in a bidding war for
No,
that.
I ain't doing that shit again. I've did that. I did that with one of your freaking banners.
Yeah.
Pocono banner at that.
Yep, I remember that.
That son of a blotch went up to $300.
Well, it's
I
funny
didn't make it do that. I mean, I've kept out of those things. Although
No,
I
it was
could run
literally
them
boom,
up.
boom, boom, boom. Emily at one point said, "This thing doesn't end for another 2 hours. Chill." Because, I mean, we were just back, forth, back, forth.
She should have not told y'all to chill and seen how high it was actually going to go.
It probably would have went way higher. Because, I mean, we just kept going.
She was tired of checking her phone. That's what it was.
Right. Yeah, they get dinged every time it goes off. So, yeah, because they do watch, especially when you're bidding or, stuff like that. That's one thing TRW really keeps a hold of is, you're not retracting a bid. Which is actually how me and Bobby became friends.
Man,
That's what I say about that.
Yeah, that's it. That's dead silence on that one.
Dad, look down. Look down at his arm. That front bumper right there. We both were trying to buy.
It's what was it? The Shriners or Masons or something like that.
That special scheme they ran.
The one that he did at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what other things have you been doing at the racetracks or anything? Because I know you were doing some things.
This summer I did the race directing at the now Echo Park Speedway for all of the Bandolero and Legends events, and we just had a double feature weekend on Fridays, and Friday after I get back from Daytona we'll have another race, and we're trying to make up some races from throughout the year that's gotten rained out from earlier in the spring and whatnot and get back on track. But I like the fact that they've moved them to Friday nights because everybody's already got other places to go on Saturdays, so it gives them a chance to race twice in the same weekend in most cases. So a lot of that is good.
That's a good time for you to go down and meet Kyle. He's probably down there at Atlanta every once in a while.
No, he was not there, but Brexton was there for a double feature night, and he did pretty well in the second feature, but not the first feature.
Gotcha.
And he was running his the Bandit class in the Bandolero division, and that was the only class he was running. But I think that was a regional points or a regional qualifier night or something like that. So
was that the Surf Pro car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was easy to see. I mean, from the tower, people don't really realize that, when you're in those suites up there, you're a long way away from the racetrack. So race directing can be a challenge sometimes just because you may call out a number, but you can't see the numbers because they got so much of the chrome and other stuff like this. It's not outlined properly to where you can actually make out a number. And you may call a car that was not involved in a caution to be involved in a caution or vice versa. And it's easy to make a mistake like that. We try our darndest not to, but it still happens. But this past Saturday, Friday night, we actually had a big time guest, is what I would call him, because we had the 7-time champion crew chief show up with his son, and he was racing in the rookie Bandolero class, and that was Chad Knaus and his son.
Oh, really?
Yes,
yeah, they don't get very much publicity. I don't know if they're keeping it that way, but
yeah, I mean, and the cool part was everybody. I don't know how often you see a lot of those guys, but when you see them out with their sons and whatnot, and I've been privy to it since 2012. you know, Phil Parsons and when Stephen Parsons was racing, you know, you walk up, say hello, and let them get back to the business because they're taking care of the kids, you know. Um, Chad nodded his head because I think he's seen me a couple of times at other races and stuff like that, but I nodded back at him and just didn't even bother him, you know, just took a picture that he's standing there with his fluorescent yellow shoes on because I mean, if I could, I'd have a pair similar to that. I just like those fluorescent yellow shoes. But Ernie Irvin and
we'll have to get Ray to hook you up.
yeah,
Get one of his retired shoes.
yeah, and you know, Jared Irvin when he was racing and everything too. You know, you just see so many. And then Mike Joy come one night with his son, and his son was racing, and he was great enough to do an interview with our announcer, and they talked for quite a while they were doing the autograph session and everything. And I mean, it was great to hear the difference between like the crew chief dad versus the race dad versus the announcer dad, because over the course of time that I've been able to be there, I've been able to see a lot more of these guys race and whatnot, right? And I've seen them progress. Heck, I've even waved checkered flags over a lot of the guys in the truck, Xfinity, and the Cup Series now. And it's like, wow, you know, to see them. But to see some of the greats like what I've grown up with, watching Ernie Irvin and seeing Mike Joy since I can remember on TV, right?
Yep.
To see them and bring their kids to go race. It's just, to me, that was just an incredible experience just to be there for that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of the unwritten rule at like Millbridge is, you know, there's a lot of people, obviously being in North Carolina and being close to homes and stuff like that. You know, it's just a wink and a nod, you know, ask for autographs, anything like that. They're there with their kids and family, and, you know, it's polite to say hi and, you know, hey, big fan. And, you know, usually they'll give you a thumbs up or a thank you and just carry on about your way.
Yeah, most people.
But what's crazy is I can remember Brexton being 4 or 5 years old at like the autograph sessions at KBM, wanting to come up and do autographs, and his dad, you know, Kyle's, you know, pushing him to the back into the truck shop, you know, and you know, and at that point in time, he was already racing the small sprints. He wanted to get up there and sign with Dad, and I'm like, yeah, you know, hey Brexton, you know, it just kind of has to be a little weird, you know, people are like, oh, you know, he's a kid. I'm like, yeah, but he's going to be a big star, you know.
Well, I mean, look at it and think about it. I want to give you an example of one that sort of shied away from it, and y'all were privy to having them on the show because it was Mark Martin and his son Matt.
Yeah.
You know, Hendrick signed him when he was little, and then all of a sudden he just decided he didn't want to race no more. That kid could flat drive, and he was a talent among talents. And having Mark Martin as a dad, you know, I equate that to what Brexton has in Kyle. Of course, he does have Uncle Kurt too.
That's 100% true.
And I think Uncle Kurt helps him out a little bit more than Kyle, and when Kyle can't be there, so he's got the best of both worlds when it comes to that.
Right.
Which at some point I got to remember to go by Kurt's shop and take my 2 bricks with me. I've actually got 2 big old hunks of the Atlanta asphalt from where they tore it up right after that before they reconfigured it, and I've got two parts of the start finish line.
Oh, how cool is that?
Sold, to be signed, and then one's for me and one's for my son, and then if I can get Kyle to sign them, because the funny thing is that last weekend of that configuration and that track, Kyle won the Xfinity race, Kurt won the Cup race. It was a Busch weekend. And to have both of them sign it is just going to be awesome as all get out.
Yeah, unfortunately enough, I was at the last Bristol race before they reconfigured it, and never thought for 2 seconds to go down there and grab a piece of track. Because as soon as the cars left the track, they were digging up the what would it be, the back stretch within an hour of the cars getting off the track, and the haulers weren't even up into turn 4 yet, and they had already had dozers and everything out on the back stretch.
Yep.
Because they had to get ready for the spring race, and in Tennessee, the winter doesn't stop for nobody, so they were getting after it. But yeah, I wish for 10 seconds I would have thought, man, I should just kind of, because you can meander over at Bristol, and you're only a wall away from the track, and one of those guys would have gladly handed me a piece of asphalt.
Yeah. Piece of asphalt, piece of concrete, whichever one it might have been at that point in time.
Right.
Wherever they were actually digging in,
Yeah. But
Should have
yeah,
thought about that about Michigan.
yeah, because I see cores from like Indy, go for crazy money.
Yep.
From when they put asphalt, I think it was in turn 4, and they did core samples for all the layers all the way down to brick, and we're selling them in like 3-foot sections. That's crazy.
Yep.
And they're bringing in 4, almost 5 figures.
Well, and one other thing that I would like to say too is a lot of people don't know that I finally hung up flagging for full time back in April. I made that announcement, so I actually threw my last double green flags back in April for whatever it is and whatever that's worth, so that I don't have to be away from the house every weekend and whatnot and that sort of thing. So, but after 20 some odd years, it was time to finish that part off.
Well, happy retirement, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Now I get to enjoy a lot more.
I'm guessing it won't be your last time, but definitely full time.
It probably won't, but it'd have to be a special occasion to get me to do it one more time or whatever. I'm just not going to go fill in on a Saturday night for somebody or something like that. It's going to have to be a special race or a special occasion or special event for me to go do that with.
Or even if you sponsor that race, then you get to be the honorary flag man.
Oh, again, that's a special event, right?
That is a special event, sir. Just don't pull a Bradshaw or a Mikey and drop it.
Well, I've only dropped the flag twice over my whole career. So one of which
does it haunt you for the rest of your life?
One will, because I actually was doing this right here and just threw the damn thing behind me. Went over the fence, had to get down in the middle of the race to go get it. But the other one, I was throwing the move over flag, and I had went down, and one part of the corner of the flag actually got caught in where there was a gap between the post and the flag stand itself. And when I went back to pull it up to wave it, it sort of yanked it out of my hand and then threw it toward the fence. So neither one of mine actually hit the track like all the others did. So that's a big plus and a big bonus.
Right. Well, that's a flag you don't see much nowadays. Now in like Gen 4, Gen 5 cars, you could see the flag man every once in a while waving it down, waving it down. With these new Gen 6 cars, they don't get close enough to lapping somebody before a caution comes out.
Well, some tracks yes, some tracks no. It just depends on how bad they really are, right? Meaning the car itself and how far behind they actually are. The one good part that I would have to say is over the course of time, they've allowed the competition to get so much closer. No matter what, it looks good on TV to an extent, better than it did back in the 80s and 90s, right? but there's still issues. Well, we can fix that, but I know Doug Yates spoke about it the other day on Sirius XM that if we went back to 900 horsepower motors, you'd have to have one for qualifying or whatever. Well, heck, we don't have practice no more. We've got qualifying and in the race. And if you can't make a motor last 500 miles or 400 laps or 500 laps, depending on which one it could be, so be it. Raise that motor price up to $4.5 to $6 million a team. I would rather see that than have some of the blah 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 racing that we've seen over the last couple of years.
I did like the tire fall off at Darlington though. I thought that was a decent race.
And Atlanta surface is getting that way. You probably about 2, maybe 3 more races, and you're going to see them sliding with the package that they have now. But given that tire fall off, you give them some more horsepower. The cars themselves are in such a tight box. Where else are we going to allow them to play, right?
Yeah.
Why not let them play with the motor and the gears that are in that transmission?
Yeah.
Gear them up different. Put the horsepower to it and let them eat. I mean, it's bad when your super late model on dirt's got more horsepower.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad when ARCA qualifies faster.
I wasn't even gonna go there. I mean, that was just so embarrassing to me as a true traditionalist fan that's been watching racing since 1975, right? Being 3 years old, it's just wrong. I mean, it's like a wing sprint car is the top of it teal for open wheel cars, right? Because it's got the wing and it's unlimited. You got the 410 cubic inches, but they should be the fastest. They should be faster than a sprint car without the wing. They should be faster than a midget all the way down the line. Your super late model, same way. Should be there. Limited late model, sportsman, crate late models and stuff like that, all the way down. Should be getting slower and slower. The best racing is Xfinity.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think they have the same exact horsepower as Cup, depending on what weekend they're there. And they put on a better show because their box is not as tight. They can still get away with a little more of this and a little more of that. But when everybody's got that same ARCA engine and the same truck engine, like all of them are using those Ilmor engines, right? They're putting out more horsepower than a Cup and Xfinity engine. Well, hell, why don't you just put those engines in everything then?
Right, because they're not blowing up.
No. What's the difference?
Right.
Or you give them the horsepower back and let the engine builders play.
Yeah, I got my engine builder shirt on today.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he's first place 2 out of the last 3 years. And when I take this shirt down to Carolina Motor Speedway, the dirt track down here, everybody knows Clements engines.
Well,
everybody.
Between it and Gaffney up there in that neck of the woods, if you're running something else, they think you're a traitor.
Yeah, I do love walking into that shop, and you know what I'm talking about, Chad, is when you walk right through the doors and you see the crates, just ready to go out on a Wednesday, Thursday. And you see, who is it, Bob, playing on the dyno, running them back, running them forward. And then, have, I forget the young man's name, but he'd go in there, tweak a little bit, and then run back out and, and
they hit it again.
Yeah, hit it again. And I said, your neighbor's got to love you. He was like, nah, don't worry about it. There hadn't been anybody over there from, 4 or 5 years. I'm like, yeah, I kind of wonder why, Mr. Clements. You got race fuel pumping right out into their windows.
How many super late model guys that are out there running do you know that are, if you pay attention to a World of Outlaw race or a Hunt the Front or a Lucas Oil Race. How many times when they're introducing these guys do you hear them say Clements versus the Durham or the Vic Hills and that sort of thing? I mean, they easily 85% of the field in a lot of cases.
Yeah, yeah. As long as you're in a serious now Carolina unfortunately has kind of went down, but if you go over to like Lincolnton, all those guys are running it, and same with the bull ring over in Gaffney.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Now you got some good ones from Vic Hill. I will say this because he does put a lot of work in it, and a lot of people do not know that he used to work for Childress back in the 80s, and that man knows his motors too. Just like Glenn and putting those together over there at Clements, and then Mr. Andy Durham up there, he pretty smart too in upper North Carolina. But those are some of the biggest names out there with motors that are the ones that win the most. And then you get somebody like Davenport. He's got a car that he runs a Durham engine in. He's got a car that he runs a Clements in. Just the way it handles versus the track that they're at, it's preferred.
That's a lot of money sitting there.
Mm-hmm. It is. And I would hate to gather that most of your Clements motors are right around 50 grand probably, but some of those Andy Durham are 60, 65, and I wouldn't doubt it if the 400 and God, whatever size motors that Bobby Pierce has are close to 65,000, or if not 70, because I think they are running right at 470, 480 cubic inch motors. And I mean, they're huge.
That's ridiculous. Because if you're not, because we have the 410s come to Carolina every once in a while, and I'm about 5 miles as a crow flies away from there, and you can hear those 410s just ripping, and it's not even a quarter-mile track, and you can hear them every lap. Whoa, 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 and that excites me. I'm out in the country, so I love hearing that stuff.
Yeah, I'm 8 minutes I'm about 8 minutes away from our local track that has the 410s, and I love it.
Yeah.
If you actually depending on the way the wind blows, if I'm on my front porch, I can actually see the dust cloud going around, and the wind will start shifting it towards the house, and you're like, all right, I gotta go in.
No, shut the windows.
Yeah, or don't have them open at all on Saturdays.
Right.
But Chad, I don't want to hang you up, man, because I know you gotta keep getting to work. So good luck this weekend. Hopefully you guys get that win, and shoot me that invoice, my boy, and I'll shoot you the money over.
Well, it'll be till whenever I get back, because I am done for this one on this stuff and all the stuff that I got right now. I don't even know what's come through, what's been paid over the last 5 or 6 hours that I sent out earlier today, So as crazy as it sounds, we're just mulling through, and I'll check everything when I get down to Daytona tomorrow night, and we'll release some more orders if we need to, and get everything in the works and get more stuff being made. And just if y'all want to see some cool ones, we got a couple of good videos that have come out from a couple of folks recently that they sent us to us. One that was how to wash the mats, and the other one was the brand new mats that we sent to Devin Moran, and he actually shows the different types of mats that we've done for them. And he showed 2 out of the 4 different types of mats, but they got 4 different types of mats for his operation and everything for Double Down Motorsports. And
nice. Very nice.
All right, Chad. Well, we won't keep you, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck in Daytona, and be safe out there, all right?
Well, y'all have fun and keep planning some more cool stuff like the 100th episode and everything. I know somebody lost count and messed you up a little bit on some of the stuff because I don't remember saying that I needed to be here in August. I thought I was supposed to be a June guest, not an August guest.
I think it's because we got busy and then I was on vacation and I was like, I don't remember how it happened, but I looked at the schedule. I'm like, Chad's on here twice. We're just gonna move Chad back here because I don't remember which day it was.
Well, that's fine. It's definitely fine.
It worked for you.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. Hope y'all enjoy your banners and your giveaways and stuff for your 100th episode show coming up in September, and hopefully shirt sales are going well.
Yeah,
Shirt sales are going absolutely awesome. Can't
Yep.
complain.
Yep, we greatly appreciate it. We've said it many a times, but I can't wait to show off these banners. I was finally able to open them up and see them. Damn, did it blow my mind. I can't wait to show them off.
Well,
You
that's
get
good.
one more tomorrow.
Yeah, you get one more tomorrow because
Right.
we worked it out because somebody else wanted an extra one, and the other one got shipped off. They're going to get it tomorrow as well. They just don't get to have it signed.
So
Well, y'all have a good one, and I will sign off, and y'all take it from here, and y'all have fun over the next few episodes. We'll try to catch as many of them as we can on YouTube, like always.
all right, sounds good, man.
Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
All right.
That was Chad, our favorite rug doctor.
Yeah, that's what we need to make him something that says rug doctor.
Right. The man does some crazy stuff with carpet, man. I never thought I would be interested in what rugs look like or what rugs look like in a hauler, but the detail he puts into it is pretty damn sweet.
Yeah, I was actually sitting here thinking while he was saying that, I'm like, wonder how I can get one of those big mats from the racing warehouse and put it in the garage. Like I'm sitting there like picturing it in my head how it's gonna fit, and I'm like, it ain't gonna fit. Quit trying to buy one.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, know what? I can go on lunch tomorrow. I know they still got a couple.
They have like 4 or 5. Trust
Right.
me, I want one. It's just like, where would I put it?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, do I get a runner for the basement? So it kind of looks odd, but
Run it down the stairs. Like
Right.
start it and let it
What-
run down the stairs.
right. What doesn't look odd in my basement?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so I'll see it soon enough.
Right.
What is it? 3 weeks? 3.5 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks. I think to the day is
Nope.
our show. It's
Yep.
about 2.5 weeks. Yeah.
We'll be
Right.
down there Saturday, the
Yep.
13th. But yeah. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining episode 94. Please check out Anamore Designs for your tumblers, stickers, and binders, all sorts of stuff. We just sold a matter of fact, Dave, I'm not even gonna lie to you. These stickers right here.
Yep.
I just sold 25 of them yesterday.
Attaboy.
And I sold
Kidney?
I have 2 left. 1 left. One of these are sold. I have to get it out. But I have yours still here.
Okay, I was about ready to say one of them.
If one of
Yeah.
them's yours, unless you don't
Okay.
have one.
I couldn't tell you if my life depended on it right now where it
Well,
is.
this is the one I'm saving for you because this is the one I used. So I know how that one works. So with that being said, check out galebeard.com, place your order and use discount area 51 for 15% off your order and free shipping. Remember, make them say
Sorry.
it. Golly.
Golly.
You all right?
No.
That beer went down wrong. You might as well advertise the beer.
Right. Shout out to Rockers for the Jeremy Clements Racing Fuel. It's a couple months old, but gosh dang, is it so good.
Yeah. I can't
Yeah.
wait. I can't wait to get down there. I think I might pop one that first day.
Right.
Guys, make sure you check out your NASCAR diecast needs on circlebdiecast.com. Use the code Area 51 for $6 off your shipping. Check out Benzik Designs for your 164th, 124th, and 118th display stands. Use Area 51 for the 20% off. I've been told by Matt Benzik, please make sure you guys use the discount code Area 51. 20% is better than paying full price. He said that he's had 12 orders in the past week from us, and they send him a message afterwards, hey, I forgot to use the code Area 51, so he has to redo it. So he's letting everybody know, please use the discount code. Check out Kylie Glick's merchandise. She just posted the 2025 hero cards and also a sweatshirt, which are pretty sharp looking. I'd like to thank everybody that is on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. Thank you guys. Please go like, follow, subscribe. Also, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors who make the podcast possible. Spartan Waste, Fox Sports Spartanburg, Harrison's, Action RV, Kylie Glick Racing, Mattman Designs, The Runner's Roost, Alliance Driveway Solutions, Anna Moore Designs, Circle B Diecast, Driven Sunglasses, Elite Towing and Recovery, High Speed Auto. Sorry, my computer froze for a sec. The Racing Warehouse and Armadillo Apparel, Belcher Cheesecake Creations, Fly and Form Concrete Structures, First Pacific Funding, Gale Beard Products, Wings Etc., Benzik Designs, Schanzenbach Landscaping, Enigma Tattoo, Overwear Apparel Group, SBJR Designs, Henderson Jet Services, Halsey Systems, Ava Hansen Racing, Jeremy Clements, and Jeremy Clements Racing. I'd like to thank everybody I'd like to thank all of our fans, all of our sponsors, everybody that makes this podcast possible. I can't thank you guys enough. I'd like to thank Dave and Rob also. Thank you guys.
Oh, you're welcome, Bobby. Wow. Something happened.
Yeah, my computer just tried to freeze for a second. That was crazy. So with that being said, I'm gonna sign off before this thing takes a. We have bad weather down here. If you can't tell.
All right.
Let me try to run the intro or the exit video before we lose power. But here we go. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 94. Dave,
All right.
have a good night.
You too. And last but not least, I would like to give my dad a happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And I posted it on Facebook, so it's already up and ready to rock and roll. So, with that being said,